Hey guys, it's me again. So listen, I'm working on a Buick, what is this car? Encore, Buick Encore. And I'm gonna show you how we come up with colors. So I'm gonna turn the camera around, show you the car. It's been in the front end. And the front end collision has made the fender hit the door. So we had to do some repair work there. And then there were some paint issues here and here. The hood struck the fender. And then the headlight buckled the opening for the fender opening for the headlight. So the headlight wasted that out. I straightened out all this. This whole core support was back into the engine. I got it back out and replaced. And now Wendy's working on changing the radiator because it snapped the pin off the radiator that holds it in place. Over here, there's this pin, right? That. And not only did it snap that off, and I got to make sure I put this because there's a notch. Not only did it snap it off, but it is leaking a little bit. So it's getting a new radiator, and that's where that one was snapped off from, and that mounts there. So anyway, the repairs, this side was a little bit worse. This part of the wheel well opening, and there was a dent back there, and the hood jammed up in here when it got hit. And so now that it's time to do the paint work, I have to get the color code off the car. That's what I was going to show you. Is I've already opened up and emptied out the glove box, but right here is the information label for the car. And if you ever see these labels, don't take them off your cars. Leave them there because it helps guys like me figure out what's what. Let me see if I can get the camera in there. So, whoops, there goes everything. So right on that label at the bottom where it says 636 WA636, that's the paint code for this car. And you guys just left me. All right, so now I'm sorry, we got the camera stand working again. So now we go to the computer, which is in the shop. Let me turn this around. You guys don't need to see all this junk. So anyway, we go to the computer in the shop and we put in WA636, and it gives me a list of all of the known formulas for that color in this paint. And I have selected out of all of the known, the silver metallic with the variation of 1. Sorry, I didn't know I got out of the camera. On my computer, that's the formula. So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 toners to comprise that silver. And this spray out card right here is the card that matches the color on that car in my mixing system. And this is the boxes where I get that from. So this will go back here. And that's my color bank. That's all the cars, and each one of these things has, you know, so this is the Ferrari, Lamborghini, Lotus. All of those are colors, and the only reason I have that is to ensure that the formula matches the car. So now, there's my formula, and I have to use the first toner, which is 986, and it says 268.31, which now I have my scale zeroed out. Right there, my scale zeroed out. There's my container that I'm going to mix in. This is my first toner of 986, and I am to pour 268.31. So this now is the challenge, not to over pour. I'm at 0, and I'm going to see if I can set this down somewhere, which I really am not set up for this. So you're just going to have to wing it. So right now we're gonna see if we can find a place to put this camera where it won't fall down and you can see the scale. And I'll zoom in on the scale. Yeah, I should use 2 hands. Okay, zooming in. You can't see the head that well. Well, that says 0, 0, and I need 268.31. So we're at 0, 0, and here we go. It's 70, 80, 90, 100. 200, 240, 50. I need 260 somebody. I know I said this several times, but 268.31. 268. 268.31. 265, 266, 267, 268. And I went over just a little bit. I'm at 268.7 instead of 268.31. And since that's the first color, that's not going to be too hard to correct that weight. So I'm dancing between 0.6 and 0.7. And I'm supposed to be at 0.3. Now I'm back down to 0.6. I'm scooping out 0.3. There we go. So that little bit is what changes that. And there's my number, 268.3. But there goes 3. So now all I have to do is 5 more times. I got to do 5 more pours. And by the time I do that, I'll have that silver made up, and then I can paint the fenders, and I can paint the bumper, and I can paint the hood. So that's how we do that. And I'm going to turn the camera around. That's 1 toner of silver poured into that cup, which is right about there from here up. Sorry, from there to there. And I eventually will have a full cup of paint because I have to paint a lot of parts. So the next one's toner 953. So now I come over here and select 953 right there. I should zoom out. Zooming out. There we go. 953. And this is De Beers, and it's all water-based. And I'm going to zero out the scale. I'm going to push that button. The scale goes to 0. And now I need to put in 170.7. I'm cleaning off the top. I'm going to set this down over here. So that way you guys can see yours truly in action. Oh boy, right? Big deal. And let me see, am I in the shot? I'm in the shot. Okay, so 170.7, scale's zeroed out. Where is my plunger? All right. Randy's gone, so there it is. I gotta clean this paint punch up. 170.7. All that good. 170.7, got it. That was the 953. So the next one's 913 VF at 100.3. VF, so that one, 100.3. Pour spout. Oh, you pour spout. Okay, 100.3, I think. Yeah, 100.3. Here we go. On the nose, and now I have to go for 90, 91, which is flop cabinet, flop controls. Flop controls how the metallics lay out. they're going to stand up on their end, if they're going to lay down. That's a flop additive. This says 60.10. It's just a white filler. I'll be very honest with you, I never get this right. The flop likes to make me work hard for it. Yep, 60.2. Stupid flop. I guess I'm a flop with a flop. I'm a flop with a flop. 950, that's black. 1.5. 950. 1.5, just a little black. Just a little. 1.5. Alright, this is going to be 1.5.
Hey LA, you are near Hollywood Galaxy
That's
Target
0.5.
to Hollywood Boulevard and North Sycamore Avenue. From order pickup to
That's
drive up,
one.
we'll be here. Did you stop? Well, it's still out.
1, 2.
In the neighborhood. Hey LA, Hollywood Galaxy Target leads you to Hollywood Boulevard and North Sycamore Avenue.
Tap, tap, tap. Remember Lily Tomlin and Steve Martin, All of Me, the movie? And she took over half of his body and he had the other half, and then he had to go use the urinal, and she's like, tap, 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 and zip. All right, now bright blue, 934 is Formula 934 toner, which is this. And they want 0.5. 0.5, so that would take that to 2.0. Reset the scale. So the reason I reset the scale all the time is just so I can see how bad I overpoured, if I did overpour. But since I'm at 1.5, the math of adding 0.5 would take it to 2.0. So I don't have to bump the scale and wait for it to calibrate. I can just go from 5 to 0. 1.5 to 2.0. No, I'm there. There it is. Now I'm going to show you how much that actually looks like. The black and the blue. And wrong way. So there's the little bit of white is that flop adjustment, the black, and then the blue. And it just drops in there. And now it's asking me for thinner, which it wants 60.1 of thinner in there. Is that right? That's right. So 60.1, I can take it to 62.1 because there's 2 there and I don't have to reset it. So I'll just do that. I'll just go 62. Again. 50, 57, 59, 62 I want. I'm at 61.7, 61.89, 62.1, 62.1. So, it's no longer a number problem, it's a word problem. So now, you can see what that looks like. And that's what that looks like now that it's got reducer in it. Almost like a tie-dye shirt. And take a wooden stick and spin all those colors together, and eventually I'll have this silver that I will need to paint on my hood and fender and bumper. And what I want to point out is, see how blue that looks? It doesn't look very silver, does it? And that's because it's water-based. And when painters have to use a water-based system like I do in Southern California, you have to deal with it don't look like the color I'm shooting. And that's always been the hardest learning curve. You have to make sure all your numbers hit, and you have to trust your formula, and you have to look at your spray out cards, and you got to make sure that you spray this out correctly. If you do not spray this out correctly, it won't look like the color, and you'll be not knowing whether your color was wrong or right by its formula up against the car. And I'm going to back up this camera on the computer to show you how many variations this one color has right from the factory. So as soon as I can stop doing that, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit return on the menu screen. Watch this. Going to hit return. Return. Do you want to return to the previous screen? Yes, I do. Let's return to the previous screen. Boom. That's the weight. Now, I'm going to hit cancel again. It's going to ask me, do I want to return to the previous? And I'm going to say, yes, I do. Yes, I do. And that's going to tell me all the alternate ones that I can grab, right? And that's not where I want to be yet. I want to show you when I look this color up, and this is selecting out of the formulations which type I'm using. Am I using solvent? Am I using water? Okay, here we go. So we're going to start right there because this is GM USA. This is not GM Australia. Holden. GM Holden is Australia. Okay, so Australia, 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 Australia. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 variations of this color in Australia, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in America. And the first one that's highlighted says Switchblade Silver Metallic, produced on 2000 and I think that says 2009, sorry. I got a hair in front of my face. So anyway, I went with Switchblade Silver Metallic -1, but I want you to know that that's one formula. That's the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. I have 6 options to choose from by creating this color to match that car that's outside. So that's how easy my job is. They just don't put a color code on the car. They go, which one of these 6 do you think looks the best to you? Because we now know out in the field that General Motors has sprayed this silver so many different ways that one formula doesn't cover just the color. And when you see General Motors going factory formula with no alternates, and then 1 and then 2, they've come up with 3 different variations just from the factory. But then when you get the car out in the field, you see F, F, and F. That stands for field. And that's field A, field B, field C. So that's what happens is you have to figure out if the guy that came out from the paint company was right or wrong on making colors. Because all those field ones, that's somebody going to a car and going, okay, let's see what you got, and let me see if I can formulate that color for you. And I'll teach you how to formulate a color next time, so stay tuned to the same Bat Cave, Bat Channel, all that bat crap. Bye.